Hello, YouTube. Well, any of you that's been watching the videos know about the hybrid battery, and if you watched the video enough and caught it, you'll know that I had one cell that dropped down to zero. Well, guess what? 5 days in a row drove it for work, absolutely perfect. Parked it Friday afternoon, got back in it Monday morning, and the battery, well, let's just say that I got the red triangle and exclamation mark in a dash. I was like, what the? So, by courtesy of Bluetooth and and the Daly app, I was able to find out that that one cell did in fact go to zero again. So, what I've done is not fix it. I did the right thing and cut the wire going to it. Right now I'm currently charging the battery back up. Going to 0 volts on these cells is not good. Hopefully I can have my car back in the morning, because I can tell you that this thing is about 26 miles a gallon. That's it. 25 to 26. It runs absolutely fantastic, but it is not meant for gas saving. I can't do it. I make 20 cents a mile, maybe 21 at times, depending on gas prices. I can't drive something not fuel efficient. And for what it is, it does fantastic. Plus, it's not my car. So, there's that too. Anyway, what I've done in here, I was like, where is that wire? So, I found the wire going to it on the ground side and clipped it. What I think is going on is the top one of those top balance boards has shorted and draining that one cell. The only way I can prove it is use the car with that clipped. I'm not really concerned about overcharge because it's not happening at all. The highest I've seen the voltage is 3.4. That's it. And the surge charge I've seen hit a little over 380. Yeah, that's a little over, but it don't last very long. That's on brake regeneration. So I'm going to charge this battery, this one cell, which is what's going on now. Current voltage is 3.3. I need to get a screwdriver and bump that up a little to 3.65 and let it fully charge, and then capacity test it to see how bad it's hurt after going down to 0 volts twice. At least the capacity is written on top of it already. That was a 7.6 amp hour, or 7.674. That's what it read at before. If it's lost a crap ton, I'm going to have to change the cell. But that won't happen until I do the repair work on that one run to try and fix the battery discharge problem. It could actually be the cell doing it. But the only way I'm going to find out is run it with that wire clipped and roll with it. We shall see. This is a process. Anyway, people, I'm going to kick back and do my thing with this, and I'll catch y'all later. It's just a little update. Have a good one. Hey folks, got in the car this morning after charging this battery. Good news, this battery still got 3.3 volts. So my suspicion is the top balance board has a short on one of the pins. Let's see. This battery goes to this board. Yes. Yep. Indeed it does. Okay, so I think the top balance board's got a problem, causing this cell to discharge to 0. That's the only one. Got in it this morning to start the car. I'm going to let it warm up and just to see if it'll start, because, well, this is all an experiment, and people remember this is an experiment, but proof of concept, it worked for a solid week. Now, over here, this caused me a catastrophic fail, and I'm most likely going to have to replace probably about 8 to 10 cells. I don't know what the hell happened, but as you can see, all the others are fine. That one's fine, this one's fine, this one's fine, this one's okay. You know, it's just that one. Why only one? And are the others going to do this? It's making me kind of wonder. Now, I'm going to have to rework this whole entire battery because of that. I was only going to have to work the top shelf to take care of this cell getting dropped down to 0, which will be working with the top balance board. No big deal. 4 pins, 8 wires. Okay, cool. No problem. Couple hours work and have it done, back together. But that's going to be a couple of weeks work, because I had to order it from China. I might be able to do Amazon. They do sell them on Amazon's website. They're $36, I think, for the 24S. But after this, yeah, I mean, let me get in there a little closer. See that? I don't know what happened. All the others are fine. I did all the wires the same, twisted them around, did a little loop-de-loop, and this one just went freaking postal. I don't get it, but okay, whatever. See? You know, a tie wrap on that one, it's twisted all together. This one, tie wrap, they're twisted all together. That's the only one. But anyway, if any of you are DIYers and built batteries before, and you've got a Mercury Mariner or a Ford Escape that uses the old nickel metal hydride batteries, these batteries will work. They did not fail because of the batteries themselves. It failed because of that. And folks, I'm not too sure that I want to go back to using them after this. This is too much work. But anyway, I thought I was going to get to drive my car again today, but you know, I didn't even smell the smoke. So the steel plate that goes on top, what I did to get it to fit is, you see it cut back like that, and it goes all the way across and then up again. Yeah, I cut it back all the way back. It dipped. It had a dip to it. It went out and dropped down and then back out and down again. So I had to cut that out to get it to go across the batteries. This plate contained it. I haven't looked on the bottom side yet. And it's just smoke damage. That's not fire. But the cells underneath it has taken a lot of heat. I think some of them are most likely going to be dead. I haven't put the meter to any of the cells yet. Not only does the top rack have to go in so I can repair it, the bottom rack has to go in again. I don't have room for these big batteries. I've got to make room. Oh, geez. Now I'm out here sweating my brains out. The sun is beating me half to death. But, you know, it's got to be done. I'm pretty much doing this video, so my mistakes will not be yours. This is all good, bad, and ugly. 100%. And something like this, you people need to know. And I'm going to send a photo of this to Daly and tell him I need a replacement. You guys called me a catastrophic fail. I want a free replacement. And yeah, that's all I can do. That's the only one. Now, while they're doing active balance, they do get warm, but they do have a timeout. It's not constant. And the fans, the factory fans do work. I know that for a fact. And as you can see, with the other battery, can you see that? Yeah, that's the air channel right there. There's the other air channel right here. They do blow across. So that did get air going across it to cool it if it was doing active balance. I've watched these do active balance, and they have a timeout stage. They'll active balance for about 10 to 15 seconds and then cut out for about 30. Never seen a board go over, what was it while I was driving the other day. Of course, that's going to reflect on battery 53C, right around there. But, I mean, you turn these things on at room temperature, they're the 40C. That's just what they read. But, you know, I did test them out before I used them. They do get warm, but not super warm, and they've got a time cycle on and off. So, anyway, folks, I'm gonna get the repairing. I'll catch you later. Okay, I just contacted Daly. Of course, China. Gotta wait till overnight, or if they feel like responding back, or if they happen to get it in the next 2 days. Maybe you get lucky and get a response back the next morning. So we'll see how it goes. I sent them a photo of what it did. You know, it was only one board. 1 out of 5. If all 5 did that at one time, oh my God, that would be a disaster. But only 1. And that is something that I was referring to. You may have electronics that fail. It's they're a ticking time bomb anyway. When they're new, the only way you're going to find out if they're any good or not, use them. That's it. Just like that one top balance board that's draining 1 battery down to 0. And then I end up with a catastrophic fail on the bottom rack. Now, the bottom rack has nothing to do with the top rack. So, you know, if something like that, I was expecting before I pulled it up to see at least one of the active balance boards on the top rack had failed. But no, it was the bottom. I don't get it. But, okay. Update later on what Daly has to say. I did request a replacement. I said it's the least you guys could do. I've got extra cells left over, luckily, to replace the ones that this damaged. And I need a replacement. So we'll see what kind of business Daly does. And, well, if they reject, I'll just kindly tell them that I posted a video about the catastrophic fail and see what they got to say then. Anyway, people, don't be afraid to change your battery. If you've got any knowledge at all and can do what I've done, then yeah, just do it. I drove the car for a week and found an electronic part that was bad and then another electronic part that went catastrophic fail. Um, so I did the external electronics because not because they're needed, but for my own curiosity, and I'd like to really keep them in. But if it's going to be safer and just let Ford manage it, I've already did all the monitoring. I've had no problems whatsoever, and folks, I've tried to push it. I come down a hill that was a mile long riding the region brake and watched it. It was fine. I never had a single overcharge problem at all. But I'm not scared one bit. Worst that could happen is I end up stuck on the side of the road, and if the battery catches on fire, well, it's contained in a steel case with the exception of where I cut it. Oh, don't let that freak you out. But, it is a reality. Not that it's going to happen, but it's a possibility. And when you're working with these batteries, no matter what you're doing, it's a possibility. But if you watch what you're doing while you're putting it together and get it all engineered and keep it within spec, and that's a lot of what I push too. Nickel metal hydride for 2 cells that was put together, 10 cells combined, is 14.8 volts. These 4 cells put together in one module is 14.6. That's 0.2 volts difference per module. Not that big of a deal. Bottom voltage for 4 cells is 8 volts. Bottom voltage for the nickel metal hydride is, let's see, 5 times 2. What is that, 10? I think I might have to do a calculator right quick. Let's see. Sometimes I'm okay with math. Each battery has 5 cells. Calculator. 5 times 1.4 is 7 volts. Now, the charging system may push it up a little bit to like 7.5, because I have seen nickel metal hydride be charged at 7.5, but these cells do not like it. They like 7.4 volts on the cells that are good. I tested 6. I had 4 fail at 7.4 volts. 4 of them overheated bad, and they tested low on capacity. The ones that were good tested good on capacity, 6 amp hour, factory spec, 7.4 volts, and hardly got warm at all. They did get warm. They was being charged. That's to be expected. But per module, you got 0.9 times 5. That's nickel metal hydride dead. 0.9 volts times 5 cells is 4.5 volts. So 4.5 volts on nickel metal hydride dead versus lithium polymer LiFePO 4 at 4 volts. It's not that much of a difference. And besides, the charging system and active system in this car is only going to use about maybe 2 amp hour out of the whole capacity of the battery. That's about it. Maybe 3 at the most. And I mean at the most. Um, it's just the way they work. They're meant to maximize battery life, so they will not cycle the battery that much. It's going to be very little, 2 to 3 amp hour at best, and a lot of times not even that. It's mainly used to assist the gas motor. And I've got one battery in here, the top rack. I was getting ready to start the process of test and capacity test to find the bad cells. I know for a fact this one's a 2195. It's also associated with the cell that was going down to 0 volts. I will most likely take the wiring and do something different with it. So what I did is I actually combined the active balance with the top balance board and ran a line to each battery. This was a lot of wiring, folks. A whole lot of wiring. It was probably not necessary because I had to stack the Ford stuff on top of that. But you know, I thought it would be rather cool to tap in Bluetooth and see the voltage on the cells, and it has been. And it's gave me a peace of mind too, because I've learned a lot. And actually, I think what the Ford system does, this middle monitor, it checks the voltage on each side. Because if you take a look at this battery, this is the factory battery. It has 2 modules. I've got one pulled out on the shelf right now. But it's got 2 modules. Each module has 5 cells. So that's 0.9 volts dead, 1.4 volts full charge per cell. There's a lot of cells in this battery, and these things are brutal heavy. I can pick them up by myself, but not for very far. I bought this one in from outside. It was already popped open in the back of the car, and I had nowhere to go, nowhere else to put it, so I brought it in here on the coffee table. But this is what the batteries look like. If anybody has a Ford Escape or Mercury Mariner newer than 2008, I don't know what those batteries look like. But I can vouch, if I'm not mistaken, 2006 to 2008 on these hybrids, they've got the same battery, nickel metal hydride, and folks, they're going to die. It took 15 years for me to start having trouble with mine, and my car has only got 148,000 miles on it. That's it. But anyway, I'm going to step aside. You guys have a good one. I'll post another update on what Daly had to say later. I'll catch you. Yep. I guess you can see what I got going on. And I'm getting some raw bad news. Now, this is a top rack on the Daly active balance that had that one cell that went to 0. Now, I'm going to actively say it could very well be my fault. All these batteries are dead. These still got voltage. Move that cap out of the way. These two still got voltage, and there's a couple more on the rack that's got voltage, but I gotta sort them out and see if they'll take a charge, etc. This one took a charge, but I'm gonna let it sit and idle The one that went down to zero twice, well, it was actually self-discharging. Kind of bad. What I'm doing right now is, I do believe this active balance has took a dump. That's the 4S one I put in the middle. Bluetooth won't work at all. I've already took the cable out and plugged it in over here, and it popped up on my phone, and now I'm charging the battery to max to see if I can get it to wake up. It's not doing anything. Literally. Will not show the Bluetooth module on my phone, and that's kind of telling me it took a crap. I got that one from Amazon. I'm good to go. So, if you hear sizzling in the background, you sure do. I'm hungry. I just got home from work about an hour ago, and I'm going to take a pause and turn this sausage. Okay. So, as far as the cells go with this one, the 4S, they're fine. It's all through here. But I gotta take these two rows out because some of the cells are dead and some have voltage. The ones that's got smoke on them, well, as you can see, some of these others don't have smoke on them at all, but this one's dead, this one's dead. I'd say those took a lot of heat, the ones that's got smoke. That's the ones that was above the Daly active balance. I'm really going to hate to see how many I'm going to have to replace in that bottom rack. I hope it turns out better than this one because it's not looking good. I did contact Daly. They are willing to replace the active balance for $20. And they said nothing in reply to the $200 worth of cells that are destroyed because of that BMS, that active balance. So, guess what, folks? I'm posting a video. They do not care if their equipment fails. If their equipment fails, goes postal and blows your batteries clean to sky high. They'll replace it for $20, but they're not going to do nothing for you on the item destroying batteries. So with that said, and like I said earlier on another video, it's only one board that did that. Unexplainable. It was working just fine and then poof. So, I'm probably not going to trust these things. I do want to keep them, but most likely I'm going to do what I got to do to get them away from the batteries. I do not want this happening again. Okay, people. You have a good weekend. Hey, it's Friday afternoon. I'll catch you later. It's time to eat.